Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Inside Golf. I'm Harry Donahue. You know, if you're like me, there's probably a lot of things in your daily routine that you take for granted. Just getting out of bed in the morning, taking a phone call, or making one. And if you're a golfer, well, hitting the ball and trying to get it into the hole, whether you're a high handicapper or a low one, that's also something we frequently take for granted. Well, today I'm going to introduce you to a group of golfers who take hardly anything for granted. That's because while serving their country, they lost an arm or a leg or maybe both. But somewhere along the line, they didn't feel sorry for themselves, and instead they picked up a golf club and decided it was time to go back to the game, or maybe try it for the first time. Today we're at North Hills Country Club for a third straight year and the Eastern Amputee Golf Association. Former PGA President of America, Jack Conley, has gathered almost 24 amputee veterans who are teaming up with some North Hill members and their friends for a round of golf, for friendship, and a lot more. So stay with us. I'll be back in a moment with Jack Conley and meet a Congressional Medal of Honor recipient. It's all coming up next, right here on Inside Golf.
Inside Golf, now celebrating its 20th season, is presented by Destination Montco Golf. 54 courses, 300,000 yards. Check them out at montcogolf.com. By the First Tee of Philadelphia. The First Tee helps young men and women become better golfers, but most important, better people. Get involved. Visit thefirstteephiladelphia.org. By the Golf Association of Philadelphia, GAP, celebrating amateur golf since 1897. By Jersey Man Magazine, it's a Jersey way of life. And by Philly Man Magazine, bringing it to Broad Street. And by Inside Golf's partner since 1998, the Philadelphia Section PGA, experts in the game and business of golf. Take time to thank your local PGA golf professional.
Along with being stewards of the game of golf, your local PGA professional wears many hats.
We are teachers.
We are players.
We are managers.
We are merchandisers.
And community leaders.
But we all wear one badge.
PGA professionals are well-trained experts who work hard to share the joy of golf with our neighbors for over 90 years. To find your local PGA professional, visit phillypga.com. Brought to you by the Philadelphia section of the PGA.
We are the experts in the game and business of golf.
Success requires hard work. No way around it. Realize timing is key. Be willing to push yourself. Stay in control. Trust technology to support you. My father once said, "Doesn't matter what you do in life, just be the best at it."
Welcome back to Inside Golf, North Hills Country Club, the site for the third year of the EAGA. That is the Eastern Amputee Golf Association outing. Great event, and a gentleman who is probably as responsible as anyone with having it here at North Hills now for 3 years in a row. Jack Conley, past president, PGA of America, veteran, PGA professional, and we're honored to be with you today again, Mr. Conley.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you here, Harry. Your home club does a great job for these veterans, and I'm proud of that.
Absolutely. The folks here at North Hills and also some guests from surrounding clubs coming here today. You have a full field, right? 72 golfers?
We've got 18 foursomes, one veteran in each group, and it's a great day. The members have got behind this event so much. I'm proud of what they've done, and the veterans, I can tell you that almost every veteran was here today before the members. They wanted to be here and get to hit some balls and enjoy the day.
You know, looking around, Jack, I see a lot of familiar faces. It's only the third year, but it looks like a lot of guys are repeat performers.
Well, we had a couple guys that couldn't make it, and I can tell you it was really disheartening to get the email from them. But the rest of the guys, we have some new guys here, and it's a great family that we've got between the members of North Hills and the veterans that come here every year.
The EAGA, I don't know how long, I don't know if you know how long it's been around.
I don't. I got involved when I retired from my old club got involved with the amputees, and that's how I got involved with it, being a Navy brat myself for 25 years. With my dad being in the Navy, it's just something that I feel very passionate about, and to this day, whenever I speak, I always finish by saying, make sure you say thanks to the guys that in military, because without them doing what they do, we wouldn't be able to do what we do.
You know, talking about what they did and what we are now doing as a result of their service and your service, we're going to meet later on in the show a gentleman who is here for the first time. His name is Barney Barnum, a former Marine who is in a very select company, one of, in the history of the American military since the Civil War, one of 3,500 gentlemen to receive the Congressional Medal of Honor. Just to have him here, and folks, you're going to want to meet Barney a little bit later on. He's something special.
He really is. I had dinner with him last evening, and a friend of ours, Dave Junkin, and it's just an honor to be in his presence. I mean, what he's done in his life, and he's so matter of fact, it's not a big deal to him because he believes in this country, as we all do. In fact, he was telling me the story when he came up. The Philadelphia police met him at the state line and gave him a police escort to the hotel.
Well deserved.
Well deserved, and they're going to pick him up tomorrow morning and take him back to the state line. But he's a honorary detective with the Philadelphia police, and he knows all of them. And he's just quite a gentleman. We were talking about last night some of the generals that I've gotten to know. He's good friends with them, as is Dave Junkin, meeting some of the admirals. He said, "Oh, I know all those guys," and you know, he hangs around in tall cotton. I can tell you that.
Absolutely. Thanks for doing what you do every year for these guys and bringing people like Barney Barnum into our viewers' lives.
It's my pleasure, and I'm glad the members of North Hills enjoy it as well.
It's all about the fellowship.
You know, Bill Lippincott, Navy veteran, 2 years ago. Bill, we're going to have to go back to our video files at Inside Golf because we caught you then.
Correct.
And you told me at the time you were all excited because Jack Conley was going to give you a lesson or two. Well, based on that putting stroke I just saw, maybe, I don't know, new instructor or something else?
No, Jack gave me a new set of clubs, and he cut them for me, but he forgot that he could only cut them 1 inch. He cut them a foot too short. So
okay.
That's the best. You know, I borrowed this putter from a friend of mine, so, you know, so I'm just learning.
Okay, so Jack is still a number one in your
Yeah,
book.
Jack is the best.
You having fun today?
Oh, lots of fun. Well, I mean, just come out year after year after year, playing with all the different members. You know, you never meet a bad member. You never have a bad time, and you know, it's just fun being with all the different people.
And you brought some of that Center Valley weather with you, right? Nice and cool here for late August.
And beautiful. Beautiful. It never rains in Center Valley.
Bill, a pleasure seeing you again.
Yes, sir, great.
Welcome back. Glad you're having a great time. And, of course, thanks for your service.
No, no, it's not. It was my honor. My honor, my friend. My honor.
Well, part of the scenery here today at this outing is the J-Dog junk removal and a hauling truck. Boy, this is something else. Now, you notice all the camouflage? Well, this vehicle and the company owned and operated by military veterans and their families. And certainly an added visual attraction at this outing today at North Hills. Well, a year ago at the same event here at North Hills, I ran into an old grammar school classmate of mine, Jack G., and here he is. Jack, at the time, first of all, great to see you again.
Yes, you too. Yeah.
And at the time, you told me you were just starting to play the game of golf.
About 4 years ago I started. So.
And you're back.
I'm having a good time.
How often do you get out?
Twice, 3 times a month.
Okay.
Not a lot.
Yeah, this is a great event, though, isn't it?
I have fun here. Great people, great course. It's great. Just being out in the nice weather and meeting nice people like you have at this course is fantastic. We're treated great, and we love coming back here.
Well, a veteran of not only military service, but of this event is former Chief Justice, Pennsylvania State Supreme Court, Ron Castile. Good to see you again, Chief.
Harry, great to see you. Yeah, this is talk about a beautiful day, and it's a great event that Jack Conley and the golf course are sponsoring for all of us old vets now. So,
you know, we saw you teeing it up, taking a shot. Boy, It's not easy, is it?
Well, as the older I get, the harder it becomes, and you just saw that. But I try and get out here because it's just a great thing to do. You know, you're out on a beautiful course like this, beautiful day, so you know it's good for the soul.
How often do you get to play golf? On a weekly, monthly basis?
Yeah, I at one time I used to play about 4 times a month, but recently I'm going back and forth to Florida, and I'm doing some legal work too, and that takes away from having fun. But I just like to come out. I like to come out to these kind of events and see my fellow vets, and you know, see the people that support them.
You know, I have to note your War Eagle. Can we turn that around a little bit? Auburn University, War Eagle, and I asked the chief, what is the history of that? And it was an obvious answer, but I just never put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, it was something from the Civil War when this eagle flew down the field and they won the battle or something like that. But they're really the tigers. You know, so War Eagles are rallying cry.
Right.
I went to.
What years were you at Auburn?
I graduated in '66 and became a lieutenant and went to Vietnam. That's where I got wounded.
Well, it's a lot better just being out here with, as you say, fellow veterans.
Yep.
And members of North Hills and their friends, and playing a game we all love.
Yeah, that's great. So thanks, Harry. Thank you.
My favorite core value is sportsmanship, integrity, and honesty.
Respect, seeing what they do differently that I do.
Courtesy. I like helping people a lot.
Integrity and perseverance are one of the big ones that are my favorite. So.
The first tee of Greater Philadelphia, where golf is more than a game.
This side? You don't want to get my backside. That's my best side. Get over here.
Okay.
You know, that's a true story, all right? I worked out there all before I went on tour. I was, you know, a young guy, and one of the, please don't get this on tape.
Ed Doherty, no stranger to Philadelphia golf fans. St. James High School, of course, for years out at Edgemont?
Yes, out at Edgemont.
And also spent some time as a serviceman.
Yes, sir, I did. I'm a veteran, and I'm over here with North Hills today via Jack Conley. He has the Wounded Veterans. He has a Medal of Honor recipient that I happen to know, and I'm very humbled to be here today.
Well, we're always humbled at being in your presence, knowing your history. A self-taught guy, came out of high school, went into service during the Vietnam War, came back and learned the golf game by hanging around, right, out at Edgemont.
When I got back from Vietnam, I got stationed at Fort Lewis, and they wouldn't let me play baseball out there, so I told my father to send out his golf clubs. I decided to play golf. And I came, a good friend of mine, Bill Payne, took me out to Edgemont, because when Edgemont first started, he was one of the guys picking up stones, you know. Tiny had them all, you know, giving the kids $1 an hour or something. Took me out there to play a free round of golf, and I ended up with a career, so pretty lucky in life.
Pretty good career, too. PGA Tour, what do they call it now? The PGA Tour champions. You won out there. You had a lot of fun. You made some money, but most of all, you played a game that you loved.
I made more money than I ever imagined, and not as much as my wife wanted me to.
Talk about, though, what's happened since your competitive days. Diagnosed with the effects of Agent Orange from back in the war.
I have Agent Orange leukemia, diagnosed about 3 years ago. I tell people I got a chance to live out my dreams. My guys in my squad we lost, they didn't. So I hope you never hear me complain about anything.
You know, we saw you there on the tough par 5, number 4 here at North Hills. You missed birdie by this much. Now, you had a putter I've never seen you use before. Where'd you grab that thing from?
I'm playing here as a substitute. I come over here to assist Jack Conley, and one guy came up short. I don't have my golf clubs. I don't have my golf shoes on. He said, Ed, use my irons and clubs, and I did. And First time I marked the ball, his putter is so short, I leaned on it, I thought my nose was going to hit the ground.
All right, Jack, get a longer putter. Ed, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
what
very
you do. And
thanks for everything you do.
thanks for all your service.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome.
Well, it is humbling and an honor to be in the presence of Barney Barnum. Barney is one of 71 living recipients of the Congressional Medal of Honor. It happened, back in the 60s, right, Barney?
1965, 18 December 1965.
Marine Corps lieutenant?
Marine Corps first lieutenant.
What did you do exactly?
Well, I was an artillery forward observer out with the infantry, and we were ambushed, and the company commander was mortally wounded. I went out and picked him up, brought him back. He died in my arms. I took the radio off the dead operator, strapped it to myself, and I assumed command of that company, and for the next 8 hours fought them against a superior enemy in numbers. But we came together as a team, and we overcame 10-1 odds.
Wow, that's amazing. Then you came back to the States.
Came back to the States, went to a career course at Fort Sill, became the aide to the Assistant Commandant of the Marine Corps, and General Walt. And he said, if you can last a year with me, Captain, you can go any place you want. A year was up. I asked him about orders. He says, you're hanging. I said, 13 months was up. I said, General, it's time for me to get orders. Where do you want to go? I said, Vietnam. He says, you can't go to Vietnam. You got the Medal of Honor. I said, General, you made me a promise. And I lasted a year. Amazing. He did what all good generals did. He lived up to his promise.
And so did you.
And I went back to Vietnam, and I assumed command of Echo Battery, 2nd Battalion, 12th Marines, the same battery I was a forward observer in the first time.
That's amazing.
And had a good.
And how old were you when you received the Medal of Honor?
27.
27 years old. And back when you were your first tour at Vietnam, 25. You were 25. Okay. And now you're up here playing golf, having some fun.
To support the Amputee golf tournament. And so we have a number of great combat warriors from Vietnam and a couple from the latest. And so I always feel when I can get together to do something for them, because they gave up their limbs and their mobility and a lot of pain and blood for us, then I want to take part. So that's the reason I'm up here.
Well, I'm sure I speak for a lot of golfers here today, most, if not all, and out there in our viewing audience. Fellows like you, Barney, fellows like the amputee veterans are an inspiration. And as I say, we're humbled by having you around. Thank you.
We all live in a great country, and you got to give to get, and it's my turn to give back.
Thank you.
I got a lot from our country.
And we got a lot from you.
Semper
Barney,
Fi, everybody. Semper Fi.
Semper Fi with Barney Barnum, one of 3,500 Medal of Honor recipients
since the
Civil War, and one of 71 still on this side of the turf.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Barney.
What a great country.
Stay with us. There's more to come from North Hills and the Eastern Amputee Golf Association event. But first, we're going to take a pause and be back with our teed off.
I remember when he won the first couple, and I was like, who's this guy? And people knew about him. I mean, people knew that he was a bomber.
And welcome back. Inside Golf continues with our teed off panel. Today we're assembled at the beautiful Blue Bell Inn in Montgomery County. The Blue Bell Inn, you know, before a round of golf, after a round of golf, Blue Bell's the perfect spot to grab a bite to eat. Go to their website, bluebellinn.com, or call 215-646-2010 to take a look at their hours, their menus, and to make your reservations. All right, our panel today, another all-star cast. We have with us Bob Shepard.
It's a cast.
It's a cast. The gentleman who just said that, he is an all-star, regardless of what sport he writes about. For Philly.com, the Daily News, the Inquirer, Mike Kern. Good to see you back. It's been a while.
Yes, I brought the weather with me.
I love your Oakmont shirt. That must have been from last year.
Ugliest logo ever.
All right, and the man making the Oakmont comments is Joe Logan from myphillygolf.com. We had Dustin Johnson and Jordan Spieth hook up in a one-hole playoff. I don't think the likes of which you're going to see again for one big reason, the drive that Dustin hit on 18. But even before that, let's go back to the PGA Championship. Justin Thomas won it. He's been hot this year, but you know, only I think it was 8 under his score, 12 guys under par. Is that the way they want that thing set up, Joe?
Well, the PGA I think is a little more lax than the USGA. They don't care if the score is as low, and Kerry Haig, who's the guy who does the setting up, is the best in the business. So, you know, he could dial it up or dial it down any day he wants to achieve the score that he wants.
The PGA has always been more like a tour event as opposed to the U.S. Open, which is, although this year the U.S. Open wasn't, but so it's always been more like a regular tour event, only better, you know, more spiffed up and that kind of thing. But Joe's right. I mean, any major you go to or any tournament, really, if the guy wants you not to break par, you won't break par, which is what we see in June a lot of times. And in
the U.S. Open,
the British Open, at the PGA, and even a little bit at Augusta, it's more about how the weather is. Here's the course, you know, if the weather does this, you're going to do this. If the weather doesn't do anything, hey, go out and have at it.
Justin Thomas, Bob, got off to a great start this year. He won both tournaments in Hawaii. I don't know if that's ever been done.
I wonder too.
Yeah, I don't think it has. And he had another tournament win, and then he wins his first major.
Right.
And further piling on Ricky Fowler's best player never to have won a major, right? Justin now is in that elite group. But talk about the year he's had, and you know, was that a surprise to you that a guy like Justin Thomas did win?
Well, I tell you what, it looked like he was going to run the table this spring. I mean, it looked like there was nobody going to stop him. And of course, he had the little accident down at the Masters, and that threw him aside for a moment. But that guy is so strong. He's tall. He's...
Well, you're talking about Dustin Johnson. I'm talking about Justin Thomas.
Oh, I'm
and
sorry.
the PGA.
Yeah. Well, they're both the same.
Yeah, a little
and Brooks
difference.
Koepka's like that.
Right. I had you mixed up there, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's... What can you say? I mean, the guy he's come from nowhere, and he's got a good family backing, and he's had some good junior golf. He's got himself in line. He really does. I think he's going to be around for a long while. I don't
It's
think
interesting.
He's like Jordan Spieth's, one of Jordan Spieth's friends. But
and Fowler.
He's a little older than Jordan, I think. But people, I remember when he won the first couple, and I was like, who's this guy? And people knew about him. I mean, people knew that he was a bomber, and he was. Right. So I just think this is golf. Every couple years, there's the next guy. You know, in 2 years from now, we'll be talking about whoever that guy is. And that's just how golf kind of is. You know?
It is in the post-Tiger Woods era.
Yeah. Well, in any era,
it
really.
It was kind of nice, Joe. His father's a pro. His grandfather was also a PGA professional, and he wins the PGA championships. That's a nice touch.
It is. I mean, you know, family business. Like my guy, I think this guy's been coming for a while now. He's come up through the ranks. He's been bred to play golf. You know, at the start of the year, I thought this guy could have a breakout year, and you know, he is.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. Now back to your guy, Dustin Johnson.
Right. Yeah.
Who was in a memorable playoff. One hole, 18th hole, they go back to play it off, and he takes the as the crow flies route over water, and he hits it about what, 80 yards in front of Spieth?
300.
Who hits it right down the middle, but has like 165.
And this surprises you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he didn't do it though on the 72nd hole of the tournament. He actually had a terrible. He hit a shot and it bled to the right, and he had a layup, and he still makes a great par to get into the playoff, and he bombs it off the tee. He hit it like Bob Shepard. We only have a minute to go. But okay, who is going to be, you think, guys, the player of the year? We still have a lot to go here. Give me a name.
I got to get Dustin Johnson. I got to go with him.
Okay.
Yep, he's my man.
All right, Michael?
It's going to be one of three guys, Justin, Spieth, or Thomas, and it probably could come down to the playoffs.
It could.
If one of them wins the playoff, I think that puts them over.
I'll go with Justin, because I would have gone with Dustin, but I'll go with Justin.
And along your lines, if Hideki Matsuyama wins the FedEx playoff, he will be the player
Dustin
of the year.
didn't win a major this year. Thomas and Spieth did.
They did.
Sometimes that is the trump card.
No doubt about it. All right, gentlemen, thank you. Thanks to our staff here at the Bluebell Inn in Montgomery County, and we'll be back with more of Inside Golf in a moment.
Located in Bluebell, just a short drive from Plymouth Meeting, Bluestone Country Club offers a setting that's close at hand but feels like a world away. Bluestone offers a championship-caliber golf course, practice facilities including a large driving range, separate chipping and putting areas, and a staff of PGA professionals. At the Country House at Bluestone, you'll find excellent food, superb service, and an outstanding setting. Their expert staff will assist in planning your next event, whether it's a wedding or simply a luncheon, dinner, or cocktail party. Check out Bluestone's variety of membership options.
Much more than a golf course, Bluestone is a community.
Hey viewers of Inside Golf, have you heard about Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine? Published by ex-Eagles and Philadelphia Stars tight end Ken Dunnick, these magazines offer the very best in content on subjects of interest to men. Writers include Glenn Macnell, Bill Line, and George Anastasia. And you can increase your business by attending our monthly private parties as an advertiser. Call 856-912-4007 or email ken@jerseymanmagazine.com for more information.
Along with being stewards of the game of golf, your local PGA professional wears many hats.
We are teachers.
We are players.
We are managers.
We are merchandisers.
And community leaders.
But we all wear one badge.
PGA professionals are well-trained experts who work hard to share the joy of golf with our neighbors for over 90 years. To find your local PGA professional, visit phillypga.com. Brought to you by the Philadelphia section of the PGA.
We are the experts in the game and business of golf.
Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Inside Golf. Our thanks to the members here at North Hills Country Club and to Jack Conley for allowing us to get a look at the 3rd annual Eastern Amputee Golf Association event here at North Hills. And I'm sure, if you're like me, you were inspired by some of the stories that were told today. How could that not be? And also, like I said at the very start of today's show, maybe from now on, we're not going to take as much for granted as we have in the past. I'm Harry Donahue. Remember, no matter how bad it's going for you out there, don't pick up. See you next time on Inside Golf.
Inside Golf, now celebrating its 20th season, is presented by Destination Montco Golf. 54 courses, 300,000 yards. Check them out at montcogolf.com. By the First Tee of Philadelphia. The First Tee helps young men and women become better golfers, but most important, better people. Get involved. Visit thefirstteephiladelphia.org. By the Golf Association of Philadelphia, GAP, celebrating amateur golf since 1897. By Jersey Man Magazine, it's a Jersey way of life. And by Philly Man Magazine, bringing it to Broad Street. And by Inside Golf's partner since 1998, the Philadelphia Section PGA, experts in the game and business of golf. Take time to thank your local PGA golf professional.